Hello, writers. RJ Tessman here with more tips for your writing life. Today, I want to share with you some ideas for how to present your book. Once you've written a book, then you should get some speaking opportunities where you can talk about it and sell your book and market it and promote it, and it's an exciting and fun time. But there are good ways and not such good ways to present your book. So here's some ideas for you. Number one, always warm up your voice. If you haven't been speaking for a while, or if it's early morning, or if you just ate a meal, sometimes our voices are not what they should be. So warm up your voice by practicing speaking, maybe even singing a little bit, like, even la 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 will help a little bit with those vocal cords, maybe a cough drop. Make sure that your voice is warm and clear and ready to go. And then do not apologize when you start to speak about your book. So many speakers make this mistake where they say, "Oh, I just hate using a microphone," or "I really don't like speaking in public." And immediately when they say that, we lose confidence in them as a speaker. So go forward with confidence, and I'm so glad to be here and to share with you about my book, and don't apologize in any way. And then the hook. When you present your book, you need to have a good hook, just like you do when you wrote the book. So how you start out by asking a question or telling a funny story, whatever it is, you want to hook the audience immediately so that they're ready to listen to you talk about your book. Think about sharing a story behind the story. What was it about this topic that you felt like you had to write? Maybe you had an experience, a traumatic experience, and so you needed to write about it. Or maybe you felt like God really called you to write this book. Tell the story behind the story because people are interested in that. And then try doing something a little bit outside the box, something creative. I once heard a lady presenting her book, and she was marching along talking about it, and then she kind of stopped and she had written a song and she sang the song, and it was really beautiful. And so that helped me remember the name of her book, and it was something a little bit extra, something a little bit different. And then electronics. Whenever you do a speaking event, you don't know what's going to happen. You can have this beautiful PowerPoint presentation ready to go, and then there's nobody there who knows how to work the electronics, or they don't have the right plugins, or they don't have the right screen, or things freeze, and it's just a mess. So be sure that you're always prepared for that. Sure, you can get together a great electronic PowerPoint presentation, but also be sure you've got some handouts, or some other way of presenting as well. You don't want to bog yourself down into just one method because you don't know what you're going to be walking into. Which also brings up the subject of microphones. You don't know what kind of a microphone they're going to have. Sometimes I've spoken where it was just a handheld mic, and so I had only one hand to do gestures with and one hand to hold papers with, and no podium, and that makes it kind of difficult. Sometimes I have a nice microphone right in front of me, or the little pin-on type, which are easy to use. I've actually spoken in places where they had the old microphone get up where you had a little box and you had to hide it in your pockets or on your person somewhere and then be able to turn it on with this tiny little switch, and it was just kind of difficult. So especially for women, be sure that you've got some kind of pockets so that you don't have to reach inside yourself and turn something on, and it can be very embarrassing. So be aware that the microphones can be a problem. And then, just like we have to have a hook, we also need to have a big power punch at the end. So however you end it, make sure that people are going to remember how you did that, and give your book the best possible presentation that you possibly can. So get out there and present your books and promote them and make lots of sales. But above all, keep writing because your words matter.